thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and SpeakIn has become like a family for me from the past 2 months when they have been calling me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. And I feel very nervous because SpeakIn is like a family, and when family members praise you, you feel very nervous. 2 weeks back, my wife praised me, the next day she asked for jewelry. So you don't know what's going to happen. And I remember a few years back when my son was 7 years old, I had gone to Kolkata for the Institute of Company Secretaries, and my son sent me an SMS that time, supposed to praise me, and I was so confused after reading that SMS that I didn't know whether it was praising me or doing something else. The SMS of my son read, "You are the best daddy in my whole family." And I was so confused because I thought I was the only daddy in this whole family. I immediately took the plane back. I thought something hanky-panky is going on. Thank God nothing has happened. After that, I don't go out of station for more than 4 days. Okay. So, thank you so much. In sports psychology, there is a concept which is called the IFL. Now, what is this IFL? IFL stands for Imaginary Finishing Line. When a person is running a marathon, that is a full 42-kilometer marathon, between the 30th and the 37th kilometer, there is a stage where the marathon runner sweats so profusely, every bone in his body is aching, every muscle is paining, every pore of his body is screaming to leave the race, and in fact 58% of all marathon runners give up the race at that particular point of time. But there are some champions who know this philosophy of the IFL or the imaginary finishing line. They just press themselves for a few minutes more, for a few meters more, and then there's a sudden surge of energy and they can complete the race in record time. As I told you, in sports psychology it's called the imaginary finishing line, and in normal psychology we call it the point of discrimination. That point which discriminates the ordinary individuals from the champions. You might have faced it, you might have had a project and you stayed awake till 12 or 1 in the night, and then you say I have to sleep, and most normal people sleep, but some champions will say, let me wash my face, let me go and do something, drink a cup of coffee, and then you see you have a sudden surge of energy and you can stay awake the whole night. Rabindranath Tagore faced it when he was writing the Gitanjali. When he was writing Where the Mind is Without Fear, he said, after writing 2 lines I was so stuck, I didn't know what to do, but I said let me press on for a few minutes more, and there was a sudden surge of creativity. And he wrote one of the best poems in his literary life. I'm telling you this concept because it has a resemblance with my life. I was working as a telephone operator in Shivananda Electronics after doing my BCom, because as a blind individual in those days there were no other opportunities other than telephone operator or music teacher. And I had this dream of becoming a lecturer right from my younger days. So I took up M.Com as correspondence because my father had died and I had to fend for my family. And I started preparing for my M.Com through correspondence, despite all the difficulties, having to take scribes. When I got a letter from the Vice Chancellor of Mysore University, after writing both my M.Com exams, Rajdeep, you are the first student in the history of correspondence in Mysore University to get the gold medal, I was thrilled. I said, wow, this is my passport to get into any good college as a lecturer. So I took that certificate which I got from the Vice Chancellor, the letter stating that I am the first rank holder. I took my marks card and I went to the first college asking for a job. They immediately threw the marks card aside and they said, no Rajdeep, you are blind, how will you be able to teach commerce? That too, commerce, debit, credit, how will you write on the board? No, we can't give you the job. I came back, I was a little happy because those days I was reading a lot of self-help books which said failure is the stepping stone to success. But when the second college refused, I felt a little more disheartened. Third college refused, I felt even a little more disheartened, and I said, okay, I'm going to try for 5 colleges. I'm anyway working as a telephone operator. If 5 colleges refuse, that's the end of it. Fourth college refused, 5th college also refused. What do you think I did? I extended my deadline. I told him try for 10 colleges. Simple, isn't it? So I tried for my 6th college, 7th college, 8th college, and every college kept saying the same thing, and I used to feel a pain in my heart when I used to go and apply for colleges because everybody used to reject on the same grounds. The 9th college refused, the 10th college refused, and I was totally dejected, devastated, dismayed, and I said, okay, I'm going to try for the last 5 times. 11th, 12th, and in fact, in the 11th college, I also thought, why don't I try and bribe and get into a government college? Thank God I didn't do that. The 12th college refused. I said, I'll try another bribe. I'll try and bribe God. I told Tirupati, I'll put 1,000 rupees in your hundi, please. I thought God is an ATM at that time. Okay, but so, I tried for the 12th college, they too refused. 13th, 14th, 15th college refused. I was totally devastated. And I said, okay, I'm not going to try anymore. But nature has its own ways of playing tricks. I got a call from the Vice Chancellor of Mysore University stating that the convocation is being held and you have to come to collect your gold medal. So I went to Mysore with a very heavy heart, with a long face. I was the only gold medalist who had such a long face while taking the gold medal from the Vice Chancellor. As I came down from the podium, there was a man on a wheelchair. His name was Dr. M.K. Sridhar. He later on became my guide for my PhD. He told me, young man, why are you so upset in his PhD at that particular point of time? I told, sir, I've got a gold medal, but I don't have a job. He immediately pressed his card in my hand and he said, I'm from Bangalore. As soon as you get back to Bangalore, please give me a call. I came back to Bangalore. By that time, I got an interview call from the 16th college. The 16th college also refused. You can imagine how I was feeling. Failure is a very big demotivator. It can remove all your self-confidence in yourself, and I was totally devastated. Anyway, I told I'll bring up Dr. M.K. Sridhar. I rang him up and I asked him, sir, you asked me to call you up, what happened? He said, Rajdeep, see, I'm teaching in a government-aided college, Vijaya College, so I can't get you a job in my college. But there's a new college which has come up, which is called Jain College. Why don't you try there? I think so you might get an opening there. I said, okay. I kept the phone and my mother was standing behind me. My mother asked me what happened. I told her, Mummy, I went to Mysore and this boy, a man was there, Mr. M.K. Sridhar, he told me to apply for a new college called Jain College. My mother asked me, are you going to apply? I told, no ma, I'm not going to apply. The reason is I've been rejected 16 times, I've been humiliated, I've been shunned, and I don't want to face that same insult again and again. It's getting pathetic. I don't know what came over my mother that day. She held my hand and she told me something that day which changed my life. She held my hand and she told me, Beta, people can take away the spark from your eyes. Never let them take away the spark from your heart. People can take away the spark from your eyes. Never let them take away the spark from your heart. She told it in Hindi, I translated it in English. She said, Beta, aankhon se roshni jaane dena, par dil se roshni kabhi mat mujhne dena. I tried for the 17th time, and on the 17th attempt, I got the job. What I'm trying to tell you is, for me, my imaginary finishing line was 16 colleges. Had I given up at the 5th college, would I be speaking in front of y'all? No way. Had I given up at the 10th college, would I be speaking in front of y'all? Chanceless. Had I given up at the 15th college, would I be speaking in front of y'all? No. 16th, no. Just because I crossed the imaginary finishing line, I am able to speak in front of you all. Everybody faces their imaginary finishing line. Sachin Tendulkar's career was almost over in 2008. Tennis elbow, one of the worst muscular disorders. But he came back. He went for physiotherapy, he came back, and in the next 5 years he scored 25 centuries to become the human being to have 100 centuries. Amitabh Bachchan's career was over in 1992. ABCL had filed for bankruptcy. But a 62-year-old man told, I'll go to the small screen, where everybody told him, you're the king of cinema. But he came back in a show called KBC. His fortunes turned around from a negative balance of 50 crores to a positive balance of 1,000 crores now, other than what's in Panama. But all that just because a man was willing to cross the imaginary finishing line. Now the question arises, how do you cross this imaginary finishing line? Now what I'm going to tell you in the next 4 minutes is very, very important. Please pay attention. It's very, very important. When I joined Jain College, okay, let me tell you 2 random incidents. Let's not do it this way. 2 random incidents, and both these random incidents will connect at the end and you'll come to know what I'm trying to tell you. Today morning, when any of you all got up, You'll put an alarm at 6:30 or 7, and there's a beautiful function in most of your mobile phones and alarm clocks called snooze. Yes? You will snooze once, snooze twice, snooze thrice, and then after that you curse your organization, curse your wife, curse everybody around you and get up. Correct? Some of you all might have made a resolution that I'm never going to eat sweets, I'm never going to eat fried, and then today you all come here. I know, living leadership, no? Chalo kha lete hain, dinner, correct? Because research has shown that animals eat when they are hungry. Human beings eat when food is sweet, so you have to take advantage of that, correct? So you will take advantage of that. That's not normal tendency, correct? Now leave these two incidents. Let me come to my story back. I'll connect this at the end. I finished getting into Jain College on the 17th attempt, thanks to my chairman, Sri Chemraji. He gave me the job. But when I started teaching, I noticed that I was a horrible teacher. Getting good scores in academics and teaching are two different ball games. I was a good teacher, I was a good academician because I knew how to write and all that, but I wasn't a good teacher. I couldn't connect with the audience, I couldn't build a rapport. And I kept wondering, what do I do to become a good teacher? Because students used to leave my class. Most of the students in the front row used to say, sir, class khali ho gaya, sir, why you want to teach us, sir? And I felt very bad. I felt that I was cheating the very organization which had given me a job. And I was wondering, how do I become a good teacher? And at that time, there was a book which was released, which was called Chicken Soup for the Soul. I don't know if you have heard of that book. Any of you have heard of the book? The Chicken Soup for the Soul is written by two very famous American authors called Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen. And what stunned me about the book was, it's a collection of short stories. It sold 6 million copies in the first 2 years of its publication. It created publishing phenomenon. It was a publishing phenomenon. And I was wondering, there are so many brilliant books in India, short stories, Panchantantra, Jataka Tales, Hitopdesha, Vikram Betal. None of them are selling even thousands of copies, and this book sold 6 million copies. And I was wondering, how did this fellow do it? And when you want the answer sometime, it will take 2 minutes more, but this is very, very important. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, what happened was how did they sell it? And I got the answer when I heard an interview about Jack Canfield on shortwave. In those days we had shortwave. And the interviewer asked Jack Canfield, how did you manage to do this? And he said the rule of 3. She said, what is the rule of 3? He said that if you take an axe and strike a tree 3 times every day and sharpen that axe, even the tallest, strongest tree will fall after 6 months. And she said, even General Sherman? She said, even General Sherman. And I said, wow. I've got my answer. I don't have to do 3 things. I'll do 1 thing every day to become a better teacher. I started on June 15, 1996. The first day I went to the library and learned some anecdotes. The second day I went for voice lessons. The third day I went and wrote a research article. Every day without fail, unflinchingly, whether it rained or snowed, I did 1 thing to become a better teacher. After 6 months, my class filled up. From 20% I had 50% attendance. After 1 year I had 80% attendance. After 1.5 years, students started coming and asking me, sir, are you going to take a class? I didn't do anything special. I did only 2 things. 1, I did small things every day. Second, I followed it up with unflinching commitment. Whether it rained or it snowed. Today when the alarm bell rang at 6:30 in the morning and you put it on snooze, you didn't insult anybody else, you insulted yourself. When you say that I'm not going to eat sweets and I'm not going to eat oil food, and you put that sweet in your mouth, you haven't insulted anybody else, you have insulted yourself. You don't even know the psychological damage you're doing to yourself by creating a commitment and dishonoring the commitment. The only success to life is this, according to me. Cross that imaginary finishing line, and you cross that imaginary finishing line by doing small things and following it with unflinching commitment. Because every commitment you honor is a stroke in the painting of your life. Every commitment you dishonor is like a scratch in the painting of your life. Do you want your life to be filled with strokes or scratches? The option is yours. Thank you so much.
I'd like to invite Dr. Rajdeep Manwani here on stage. What a wonderful line that you've made in our lives. Imaginary or not, it's certainly going to be there after today. And as you come up, I'm going to say lucky number 17 coming up, as that was the number of college applications that we went through, and finally did what he wanted to do, which is teach. And may I invite Mr. Sandeep Chibber, Managing Director of Galway, to present the token to Dr. Manwani.